Hi, I'm Rob. I make it better. That's what I do. I thought I would, give a moment today. It's a lovely morning. Sun is out, a little bit of a blue sky, not much wind to talk about. And if you're a two pro, you're probably going to struggle the rest of your life with your career. And the reason for that is they can't teach you to aim. And the giveaway for that non-verbally is that you have to look left, you have to look left, you have to look left. You don't know why. If you go ask your swing coach, they can't tell you why you do that because they do that too. Putting, for example, and you're a putting coach or whatever it might be, the first thing that happens when people teach you putting, you lose distance control and you can't aim. That's what they teach you in modern putting. So now you have to overcome all those kind of, problems they create from the get-go because they don't know any better. Yeah, that's modern coaches for you from PGA and such. So what are you going to do about it? Well, you can't do much about it because they can't fix it. Luke Donald found that out the hard way back in 2011. He was, uh, number one in the world, wanted to win majors. So he went to his swing coach and said, I want 30 more meters. He couldn't do it. And Luke Donald thought, maybe that guy who's more famous can do it. There is a very, very big idea of people who are famous or, maybe writing books, popular. Populism is a big thing. And science doesn't, people we in science, we measure things and do things. But populism, oh, we don't believe in that shit, right? People are really stupid out there in the world. So they're going to tell you things that they know what they're doing. So Jordan Spine, for example, right? Why do you still slice the ball? Haven't you learned to fix that yet? 2016, he lost his game, basically, right? He's become what you would call an average golfer on tour. Instead of winning a lot of majors, he just, kind of struggled with his game. When I was watching in 2016, I was like, oh man, I feel for that guy because his swing coach can't fix it. He was fighting his body and mechanics for 4 days and lost the tournament because he couldn't hit the fucking wedge. Anyway, people are going to tell you things that they know what you're talking about, right? In the field of dyslexia that I worked with for a while, they told me that dyslexia is for life. If you have a kid that's dyslexic, they're going to tell you as a parent, your kid is dyslexic for life. So you have to just accept it. Then I came in and worked with what I developed, and they were not dyslexic anymore. I had parents looking at the kids, after 5 minutes, like, "What are you doing, kid?" "I'm reading, mom." And then they look at me and go, "What the fuck just happened?" I said, "This your kid was lucky that they met me because he was just disorganized, and I organized it for him. Now he could do it." And the moms would, would be searching and seeking help for 5 years everywhere. Because think about it. You go to the professor in the field of dyslexia, they have tenure maybe even, they have writing books about it. They know everything about all those 6 theories they have in dyslexia, and they can map it out what's wrong with your kid with their dyslexia, or everything that's wrong with it, and they can't do anything about it. If you know everything is wrong, then you should just reverse it, and because you don't understand how people actually read in the field of dyslexia, which is kind of weird if you think about it. What's going on there? A few years ago, this is about almost 30 years ago, something like that, we have a documentary here made by a guy who had cerebral palsy. And cerebral palsy works like this: the, the muscle can't move, right? You can tell them, all you need to do is open your hand and close your hand like this. It's easy. But they can't do it. They understand what you're saying and telling them, but you can't fix it. So they had a film team, and the director himself and the film team had cerebral palsy. He couldn't move his hand. But they were filming a kid. He was like 8 years or something like that, 10 years old or whatever, right? And he couldn't walk, cerebral palsy. And they went to a doctor, and the doctor told them, as a parent, you have to understand, your kid will never walk. I'm an expert. Your kid will never walk. Your kid will never walk. I'm a doctor. I'm a medical. I've been 5 years in studies. I have a diploma on the wall. I'm and I am an expert on this field. Your kid will never walk. Accept it. So the film team and the kid and the family, they went to Hungary. In Hungary, they do a approach a little bit different. They have a whole team of people, and for 2 weeks and 10 hours a day, uh, they do a segment of 2 weeks, and they have a couple of weeks rest or something like that, and then they're 2 weeks in. They have a whole team that move the leg or the fingers or the thumb in the same way, same way, same way, same way. 10 hours a day. It's painful, by the way, very painful. 6 months later, they came back to Sweden, made an appointment with the same doctor that told them your kid can never walk. I know what I'm talking about. I'm the fucking expert on that. And the film, the kid walked into the room by himself, and the doctor saw the kid walking in, stood up and walked out of the room, said nothing. That's your medical expert. A physiotherapist can't do that work. You have to have a whole team, and you have to. So what actually happened when they did all this stuff is that if you do this, even if the signal, the nervous system is working, but there is no signal going through from the brain to the hand or the legs or something like that. But if you move this, someone else move this like this for 10 hours a day, at some point it will build a connection up to the brain, and then your brain go, what's that? And then you can start moving your fingers on your own, or your hand, or even walk. But it takes time, and you have to move your thumb and such the same way, so you can build the neural connection, build the neural connection, build the neural connection. But if you go to a doctor, normal, they will tell you, you're fucked, Dyslexia is for life. That's the expert telling you. Cerebral palsy for life. That's what they tell you. The impossible can't be fixed because they don't know. They don't know. They're incompetent or ignorant or whatever, right? But they have an education behind it, like in PGA, right? So if you have, for example, this idea that a two pro or a two pro coach or swing coach, they know what to do, and they don't. They teach you putting, when you can't aim from the get go and you can't have this control, you're not trying to fix that. But now it's not natural anymore. And since it's not natural, it makes it more difficult to do the same thing. So if you do things naturally, you have more consistency, more ease of, and you can perform better over time. When Anne Van Dam, started to play on the LPGA tour, she had the best swing in golf, by the way. She tweeted that she was like 22 shots behind the leader after 2 days. She missed the cut and all. And she was like, what the fuck is going on? And she thought going to someone like Sean Paul would fix it. The problem for Anne Van Dam was not distance from tee and such, or accuracy and such. The main issue is and was putting. She probably was 5 shots worse than the best putters. And just to understand, putting is easy. The golf swing is easy. The only thing why it's difficult is because people teaching doesn't know what to do it. That's what happened. Luke Donald didn't understand that. He lost his career. If you go to someone who's teaching everything else the same thing that other people teach and expect a change and a difference, you can't have that. I mean, Tiger Woods did the same mistake. He went to a PGA coach thinking, oh, they can teach me how to have a perfect swing like Mo Norman did. And I'm like, did you know how Mo Norman learned his swing? When he was 15, he hit thousands of golf balls every day. He hit them so that his hand was bleeding. And then he taped his hand and just kept hitting balls. So you have to understand this. When he woke up the next morning, Mo Norman woke up the next morning, and then he mapped what muscles he had used the day before, and then he changed something to the next day to hit balls, and the next day, so he mapped every muscle in his body and how he moved until after 5 years he figured out how to do that. And then Tiger Woods will tell you, "I'm gonna go to a PGA coach, a swing coach, and they're gonna figure out how to teach me how to swing and play like more normal." You can never do that. It's just stupid, right? So you're always gonna struggle. The sad thing here is I can't work, I can't travel. I would love to go to New Zealand, to the Hobbiton. I'm a fantasy and science fiction, buff. I would love to go there, to Hobbiton, watching some hobbits. Probably not, but as kids. Oh, okay. I thought it was hobbits. So I can't travel. The trip would probably kill me. So yeah, maybe I should do a walkabout or something like that. But this is the problem for you as a tour pro. They're gonna teach you the best of the people in the field of PGA or such. They're gonna teach you shit that makes you struggle from the get-go. And now you have to try to fix that, which causes issues because if you're trying to fix something that's broken already, you're never really gonna have a natural way to do it. And uh, and I figure out why people can't aim, why this is control and goes out the window with putting and so on, and you can't fix it. Aim point and all that bullshit doesn't work. And people defend all that. Kind of weird if you think about it. I do a lot. Why would you defend the system that doesn't work? Why would you defend doctors or professors like in dyslexia that will tell you that your kid is dyslexic for life when they don't there is a solution already they are developed that works. You're a parent with a kid who's dyslexic, boom, follow the instruction. The kid won't be dyslexic anymore. And if you know someone who is dyslexic and you can show them the videos and they can apply it and then the kid won't be dyslexic anymore. Or you can trust the professor with tenure who writing books about it, who knows everything about dyslexia but can't help your kid. Kind of weird out there. Anyway, I wanted this to be short, so understand this. Ask your swing coach, why do I look left? Why do I look left? And why can't I fix it? It's because you can't aim naturally. You're artificially doing things. Ooh, I think these guys are good, right? But they could be so much better. Anyway, have fun.